Theaters are, of course, entirely empty. Do you understand that having people buy tickets is an important part of success in your industry? Rachel Zegler, I guess, didn't get the memo. The bliss of total stupidity and narcissism. Look at the bliss. On some level, it's got to be a blessing to just be so smooth-brained.
The sight was almost unbelievable. Theaters across America, completely empty, with Disney's $300 million Snow White remake playing to rows of vacant seats. If you're enjoying this breakdown of Hollywood's most shocking collapse, hit subscribe. Now to stay updated on all the industry's biggest controversies. Rachel Zegler, the film's star, posted a video of herself alone in a theater, cheering at her own name in the credits.
A video of herself in a theater. Maybe I think she bought that ticket right there.
What she intended as celebration became the perfect symbol of Snow White's catastrophic failure. The images spread like wildfire across social media, with one theater employee commenting, "I've never seen a Disney release abandoned this quickly. What happened behind closed doors that turned Disney's beloved classic into the studio's most embarrassing disaster? The story is far more shocking than anyone could have predicted."
Look at this. Look at this face. What can be said about this level of narcissism?
When Snow White was first announced, it seemed like another guaranteed hit in Disney's lineup of live-action remakes. With a massive budget, cutting-edge effects, and the star power of Rachel Zegler and Gal Gadot, executives were confident they had a billion-dollar success on their hands. Instead, they created what industry insiders now call the perfect storm of Hollywood self-destruction. The first warning sign appeared months before release. During early promotional interviews, Zegler made several controversial statements about the original 1937 film, calling it outdated and problematic. Fans immediately pushed back, questioning why someone would accept the role while seemingly dismissing the beloved classic. One viral clip showed Zegler describing the prince as strange and stalker-like, leaving Disney's PR team scrambling to control the damage. But the public controversy was merely the visible tip of...
In the greatest Disney box office bomb in the history of Disney live-action remakes, but certainly also the end of her career.
A much larger iceberg. Behind the scenes, tension between Zegler and Gadot had reached breaking point. Multiple crew members have since revealed that the two actresses could barely stand being in the same room together, forcing directors to shoot their scenes separately and use digital technology to combine them. They had completely different visions for what the film should be, revealed.
The bliss of total stupidity and narcissism. Look at the bliss. On some level, it's got to be a blessing to just be so smooth-brained.
One production assistant who requested anonymity. Gadot wanted to honor the fairy tale's traditional elements, while Zegler pushed for a complete reimagining. Their disagreements started as creative differences, but evolved into something deeply personal. The situation deteriorated when Gadot organized a cast gathering to celebrate the film's completion. According to insiders,
and to not truly understand that it's over. She posted this. She was proud of it. Not another soul in the theater, which is why they can act up like this.
Zegler declined to attend, citing ideological differences. What should have been a standard production celebration became yet another flashpoint in their increasingly public feud. As release day approached, theater owners were still optimistic. Despite the controversy, advance ticket sales were strong, bolstered by Disney's marketing machine and the enduring appeal.
Not another human being in the theater. She's cheering at the sight of her own name.
Of the Snow White brand. That optimism evaporated within 48 hours of opening night. The film debuted to a shocking $38 million domestic opening weekend, less than half what analysts had projected. International numbers were equally dismal. More alarming than the raw figures was the unprecedented drop in attendance.
This is what theaters look like across the world, and it just keeps getting worse. The memes keep coming. life.
Between Friday and Sunday, signaling catastrophic word of mouth. Audiences weren't just disappointed, they were actively warning others to stay away. By Monday morning, emergency meetings were underway at both Disney and major theater chains. What followed next had never happened to a Disney tentpole release. Theaters began...
Rachel Zegler went to go see Snow White. What do you notice about the theater? There's no one. Rachel Zegler is sitting in an empty movie theater watching her movie, giggling hysterically and maniacally.
Pulling Snow White from their schedules, replacing it with older films that could generate more reliable revenue. The unprecedented removal came just days after release, with some multiplexes reporting fewer than 5 viewers per screening. The financials made no sense to keep it running, explained one regional theater manager. Even matinee showings were completely empty.
Rachel Zegler is watching her box office flop, Snow White, in an empty theater. The level of delusion should be studied, actually.
We've had indie art, films with better attendance. Disney executives were reportedly blindsided by the theater chain's decision, having never experienced such a rapid rejection of one of their major releases. Attempts to negotiate guaranteed screen time failed as owners pointed to attendance. Numbers that couldn't...
I'm getting serial killer vibes. Yeah, people better be careful around Rachel Zegler is happily watching Snow White in an empty theater.
Justify keeping the film in rotation. For Rachel Zegler, the film's collapse triggered what sources describe as an emotional breakdown. The 24-year-old actress had positioned Snow White as her defining role, the character that would cement her place as Hollywood royalty. Instead, it became a very public humiliation, with her empty theater video transformed into
Does this actually look like a happy person? It's always in the eyes, man. It's always in the eyes.
countless memes and critical commentary. She completely misjudged how audiences would respond to her revision of Snow White, said a former Disney marketing executive. The classic princesses are considered cultural touchstones. Audiences want them updated, but not completely reimagined or criticized. Zegler's social media activity during the controversy only...
If you cover up the mouth and you look at just the eyes, no, you see evil, in fact. Right? If you look at just the eyes, it's evil.
Intensified public backlash. Rather than acknowledging concerns, she doubled down on her vision for the character, further alienating traditional Disney fans. Her posts about empty theaters, seemingly oblivious to what they represented, became symbols of disconnection from audience sentiment. Sources close to the actress reveal she's been devastated by the public rejection, with friends worried.
According to Nielsen data, YouTube beat out Netflix and Disney last month in total US watching, and that's partly thanks to viewers 50 and older.
About her mental health as she grapples with becoming the face of Disney's biggest failure. Talent agencies report that studios are now hesitant to cast her in major productions, fearing her controversial public persona might overshadow future projects. Gal Gadot, meanwhile, has distanced herself from the project entirely. The Wonder. Woman star canceled all scheduled interviews about Snow White and has not...
Another alarm bell for Hollywood. Oh my. So Disney's losing to YouTube? That's why we started off with this, right? Disney's losing to YouTube?
Mentioned the film on social media since its release. Industry insiders note that her team is working overtime to ensure her reputation remains untarnished by association with the box office bomb. What makes Snow White's failure particularly significant is its impact on Disney's entire live-action remake strategy. For years, these adaptations represented safe bets.
I'll give Disney some credit. They're brave enough to leave the comment section open.
Nostalgia-driven projects that could reliably generate $800 million to $1 billion worldwide. The Lion King remake alone earned $1.6 billion in 2019. Snow White was expected to follow this proven formula, but instead revealed dangerous cracks in Disney's approach. They forgot why these stories resonated in the first place, commented a veteran animation director. The original Snow White wasn't just Disney's first princess film, it was their first feature-length animated movie ever. It has tremendous cultural significance beyond just the story itself. The film's production troubles extended far beyond casting conflicts. Multiple script rewrites resulted in a narrative that critics described as confused and lacking cohesion. The story underwent so many changes that test audiences reportedly struggled to follow the plot's logic, with one viewer commenting that it felt like 3 different movies awkwardly stitched together. Disney's internal response has been swift. and severe. 2 executives directly responsible for the project have been reassigned, while the studio has paused development on several other planned remakes to reassess their approach.
Coming to a theater near you, for the first time in my life, I'm glad there are no theaters near me.
Shareholders have demanded explanations, with the company's stock dropping 4% in the week following Snow White's theatrical removal. The financial implications are staggering, with a production budget exceeding $300 million and marketing costs estimated at $150 million. Snow White needed to earn approximately $800 million worldwide just to break even. Current projections suggest it will struggle to reach even $100 million, potentially making it one of the most costly box office failures in Hollywood history. What's particularly shocking is how quickly theaters abandoned the film. Traditionally, even underperforming Disney movies remain in theaters for several weeks, gradually moving to smaller screens but maintaining presence. Snow White's removal after just days represents an unprecedented loss of faith in the Disney brand by theater owners. While streaming could potentially salvage some viewers, industry analysts doubt it will significantly change public perception. Once a film develops this level of negative reputation,
She's now bragging about the success of Snow White, which is a movie that's going to lose hundreds of millions of dollars, and mainly because of her and because nobody wanted to support her.
It's extremely difficult to overcome, explained one entertainment analyst. The controversy has become the story, completely overshadowing whatever merits the film might have had. Perhaps most concerning for Disney is the damage to their carefully cultivated family-friendly image. For decades, the studio has positioned itself as the safest bet for all ages entertainment. Snow White's failure suggests that audiences have become more discerning about how beloved properties are handled, rejecting approaches that feel disconnected from the original spirit. The industry-wide fallout extends beyond just Disney. Other studios with plans for classic adaptations are reportedly reevaluating their approaches, particularly regarding casting and marketing. There's a new awareness that you can't take audience goodwill for granted, noted one studio executive. Just because people love a property doesn't mean they'll automatically embrace your version of it. For Rachel Zegler, the path forward remains uncertain. At just 24, she has time to rebuild her career, but the Snow White debacle will likely follow her for years. Some industry veterans have advised her to take smaller roles that showcase her talents without the pressure.
Yeah, we had more dwarfs than we did viewers in most of these theaters. And as you know, there were no dwarfs other than some CGI weird generated version of them. It's the old, it truly is go woke, go broke.
Of carrying a major franchise. Young actors often don't realize how quickly momentum can shift in Hollywood, commented a longtime casting director. One day you're being hailed as the next big thing, and the next you're struggling to escape a narrative that's been built around you. Disney faces questions about its entire creative direction. The studio that once seemed invincible now appears vulnerable, with executives forced to confront uncomfortable questions about whether they've lost touch with what audiences actually want from their most treasured properties. The Snow White disaster serves as a stark reminder that even the most powerful entertainment companies aren't immune to failure when they misjudge audience expectations. What began as an ambitious reimagining ended as a cautionary tale about the dangers of tampering with beloved classics without understanding their enduring appeal. As theaters continue removing Snow White from their schedules, the film's legacy is already being written, not as the next chapter in Disney's success story, but as a turning point that forced Hollywood to reconsider.
Don't alienate half of the country when you're putting out a product meant to appeal to all. It's the Michael Jordan Republicans buy sneakers too.
Its approach to cultural touchstones. For an industry built on fairy tales, Snow White's collapse proved that not every story gets a happy ending. What's your take on the Snow White controversy? Drop your thoughts in the comments below, and don't forget to subscribe for more uncensored Hollywood breakdowns.